Luke 12 verse 27. King James Version. Consider the lilies how they grow, they toil not, they spin not, and yet I say unto you, that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Look at the flowers scattered across the fields, standing quietly in the sunlight. Notice how effortlessly they grow. They do not strain or struggle to become beautiful. They do not labor anxiously over their appearance, nor do they weave garments to make themselves worthy of admiration. They simply exist as they were created to be, and in doing so, they radiate a beauty that surpasses even the most carefully crafted splendor. Think of the great King Solomon, a figure known for extraordinary wealth, wisdom, and magnificence. His robes were rich, his palace dazzling, his presence awe-inspiring. Yet even at the height of his glory, with every resource at his command, he could not match the natural elegance and quiet brilliance of a single flower blooming in the field. What does this tell you? It is a gentle reminder from a loving and joyful God who delights in creation. The same God who paints each petal with care, who gives life to every blossom without effort or worry, is deeply attentive to you as well. These flowers do not fret about tomorrow. They do not question whether they will be clothed in beauty or provided for. And still, they are adorned in a way that surpasses human achievement. God's joy is seen in the effortless beauty of these lilies. There is a sense of celebration in how they grow, free, unburdened, and fully alive. They reflect a creator who is not distant or stern, but generous, artistic, and full of delight. Their existence whispers a truth. That life, when held in God's care, does not need to be driven by fear or constant striving. So when you feel weighed down by worry, when you are tempted to believe that everything depends on your effort alone, remember the lilies. Let them teach you a quieter, happier way of living. You are seen, you are known, and you are cared for by a God whose joy is expressed in every detail of creation. If such beauty is given freely to something so small and fleeting, how much more will you be given what you need? You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. Just as the fields are filled with blossoms that shine without striving, your life too can be filled with peace and trust. Rest in the knowledge that you are held by a loving God who delights in you, who provides for you, and who surrounds you with beauty. Not as something you must earn, but as a gift to receive. So lift your eyes, breathe deeply, and let your heart be light. The same God who clothes the lilies in radiant beauty walks with you, cares for you, and invites you into a life that is not ruled by worry, but filled with quiet joy, trust, and wonder. And consider this even more deeply. Every petal that unfolds does so in its own time, without rushing, without comparing itself to the flower beside it. One blooms early, another later, yet each is perfectly timed according to the rhythm set by its creator. There is no anxiety in the field, no competition for worth, no striving to prove value. Each flower is enough simply because it was made. In the same way, your life has a timing and a purpose that does not need to be forced or hurried. The joyful God who watches over creation is not measuring you against others, nor expecting you to earn your place through endless effort. Instead, there is a quiet invitation to trust, to grow steadily, and to rest in the assurance that your life is unfolding as it should. Notice also how the lilies face the light. They turn naturally toward the sun, receiving warmth and nourishment without hesitation. They do not resist what gives them life. In this, there is another gentle lesson, to turn your heart toward what is good, toward hope, toward the presence of God. In doing so, growth happens naturally and beauty emerges without strain. Even when storms pass through the field, bending the stems and shaking the petals, the flowers are not abandoned. The same hand that formed them sustains them. After the wind and rain, they rise again, still held, still cared for. This too reflects the joy of God, a joy that is not fragile but steady, present even in difficulty, bringing renewal after hardship. Think of how freely beauty is given in nature. No flower earns its colors, no blossom works to deserve its fragrance. All of it is a gift, poured out generously. This is the heart of a joyful God, one who gives not sparingly but abundantly, delighting in creation and in those who are part of it. And you are part of it. You are not separate from this care. The same attention that shapes each petal is present in your life. The same generosity that clothes the lilies is extended toward you in ways seen and unseen. Even in moments when you feel uncertain, that care has not been withdrawn. So let your worries loosen their grip. Not because life has no challenges, but because you are not facing them alone. The lilies do not carry the burden of providing for themselves, and you are not meant to carry every burden by yourself either. There is a greater care holding all things together. Imagine walking through a field filled with these flowers, each one quietly shining, each one a small expression of divine joy. The air is calm, the light is gentle, and everything speaks of peace. This is the kind of life you are being invited into. Not a life without effort, but a life without anxious striving, a life rooted in trust. There is freedom in knowing that your worth is not something you must construct. It is already given. Just as the lilies are clothed in beauty simply because they exist, you are valued simply because you are. This truth lifts a heavy weight from the heart and replaces it with something lighter, something steadier. So, as you go through your days, remember the lilies again and again. Let them remind you to pause, to breathe, to trust. Let them point you back to the joyful God who creates, sustains, and delights in all that He has made. And let that reminder fill you with a quiet confidence that you are cared for, that you are enough, and that your life, like the lilies, can unfold in beauty without fear. In that trust, there is peace. In that peace, there is joy. And in that joy, there is a deeper understanding of the love that surrounds you, holds you, and will never let you go.